Like when things are tough, how do you access your joy? How do you make sure that's available? Should we even be engaging in joy when things are bad? What's your philosophy on that?
I can start. This one, there were lots of moments this last year that were quite tough, on a personal level, and then many of my clients were struggling with some things, and so it was just hard. It was this drain, and one of the things that when you then go in the room and you've got to do a workshop with folks that are struggling, or you have to be on a coaching call when you know somebody in your family is struggling, that if I can't find something to be hopeful about, if I can't find something of how do we find that light together of what it might be, I think it goes back to what both Heather, you and Evelyn shared about helping others. And then Joe, I think that was for you as well, that the only way to sometimes ease the burden is to what can I do for somebody else? And it's not about inappropriate joy. It's not about like, hey, let's all pretend something doesn't cause pain, but I don't have to add to that. I don't have to come in and add to the woes. Do I have something I can do that gives somebody else hope? And often, honestly, that just feeds me. So it's self-serving, but it's a way to not get spiraling into despair.
No, I agree with you, Jerry. I think it's the connection with people, right? Being able to connect with people, specifically in the workplace, right? Oftentimes we may feel guarded, might not want to share certain things, whether it's meeting with clients, but when you can connect with someone and just be able to set aside perhaps for lack of better words, the professional aspect and be able to share some vulnerability and maybe your own struggles. I think it can help others as well, right? Somebody that you may not know, another client that's saying, I can relate to that. That's understandable. Your feelings are valid. And I feel the same way. And I think it's important to be able to try to find that joy and connecting with others for your own well-being as well, right? Sometimes in an environment where maybe there feels like a sense of hopelessness or negativity, is finding a way to take care of your own well-being in that search for joy.
I'll just add to that. I think the word that I like that comes up is commune. Like you're communing in this place together. Neither of you have to necessarily be in the most joyful place, but sometimes just knowing that someone's in it with you, that it brings some level of peace. And it doesn't mean that you're, sitting there thinking, both talking about how horrible things are, but there is this element of like, okay, I don't have to have it all together right now. There's a shared experience that's happening here.
I was going to say I really liked the message of hope, Jerry, that you said. As I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder, are we really the only species on Earth that has hope as a part of our DNA? But it is that hope, and I probably come in a little bit more of a pragmatic manner. And for those that know me, might not be so surprised. There's also a little bit of an appreciation when I'm not feeling that joy that I try and have. Because I know I will appreciate and I'll experience that joy that much more. You can't experience or understand joy unless you've had the opposite, whatever that is. And so I do try and, at least in the moment, take a step back, if you will, have a little bit more of a broader perspective on the circumstances and whatever it is I am going through, or whatever clients are going through, or family or friends are going through, with the idea of maybe it is hope and that I will be able to appreciate joy that much more.
There's a saying, and so I'm going to be cobbling this from things I've read probably on Instagram, but that idea of when it feels the darkest, maybe it's your turn to be the light. And that how do you then show some kind of, whether it's hope or their commune, like we're in this together, it's going to be okay.
I liked what everybody's really kind of saying about going and helping others. Because I think, honestly, as I'm hearing you say it, I think to myself of like, oh, my first thought is I'm kind of a hot mess right now, and I don't want to go burden anybody with that. Versus you're right. Like I could maybe stop feeling not like you didn't say this about me, but not feeling sorry for myself, but that whole kind of wallowing in how bad things feel. assuming that you don't have anything to offer, but maybe you just show up and you have this opportunity, even if it's something simple. I think, Evelyn, before you mentioned helping someone who's lost to find their way, then all of a sudden you're reminded that you are of use and that you do bring something into the world, and then that can kind of help rekindle that joy a little bit.